it's a sort of discussion really, but it's just a simple explanation of something that I mentioned in the previous in the last review, the last miscellaneous review that I did prior to this discussion, and in it I mentioned a thing called the Chameleon circuit, which is connected with Doctor Who, the longest running sci-fi series in the world, I think, which is on the BBC. And this is just in case you're wondering what I'm talking about when I refer to a Chameleon circuit. Well, the Doctor is a Time Lord in Doctor Who. He calls himself a Doctor, and he's a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. And the Gallifreyans have got the ability to travel through time. That's why they call themselves the Time Lords. And they have their own personal time machines called TARDISes. Apparently, the Doctor's granddaughter made up the name TARDIS, and it explained in the first episode of Doctor Who what stood for. It stands for time and relative dimensions in space. Well, all the other TARDISes that have been featured in Doctor Who have got a fully functioning chameleon. I think all of them, maybe not all of them. The other TARDISes that have been featured in the episodes of Doctor Who, apart from the Doctors, have got the ability to have got a fully functioning chameleon circuit. A chameleon is a thing that changes its appearance to blend it with its surroundings. Basically, it's like a reptile, sort of reptile that's got the ability to change its appearance to blend in with its surroundings, so that it doesn't stand like a sore thumb. You've got the song by Culture Club, Karma Chameleon. A lot of people will remember that from the 80s. And therefore, TARDISes have got the ability to blend in with their surroundings, so that they don't. The Gallifreyan time machines, they've got the ability to blend in with their surroundings, so that they don't attract too much attention to themselves. And they do this with the aid of a chameleon circuit that enables the TARDIS to change its appearance. And because the TARDIS has got a chameleon circuit, well, I think it's bigger on the inside than on the outside anyway, even without the chameleon circuit. But the chameleon circuit just changes its appearance. That's all. That's all the chameleon circuit does. I don't think it's the chameleon circuit that makes it bigger on the inside than on the outside. It's I don't know what the term is for that, but it's bigger on the inside than on the outside anyway, even without the chameleon circuit. But because the sci-fi series Doctor Who started in 1963. Police boxes were a common sight at the time, but they're not nowadays. But they were in 1963, and apparently the TARDIS had altered its appearance into a few different things before it became a police box. But once it became a police box, it didn't alter its appearance anymore after that, because it was stuck in something had gone wrong with its chameleon circuit, and it was stuck in the shape of a police box. It never changed its appearance anymore, and the next it went from a junkyard in 1963. I think a junkyard near Coal Hill School. I don't know where Coal Hill School is supposed to be, but it's a junkyard somewhere near a school in 1963. I don't really know where. And from there, it went to the time of the cavemen. But it didn't change its appearance to a cave when it went back in time to the time of the cavemen. It continued to look like a police box. And apparently there's only one story there's only been one story in Doctor Who, in the mainstream Doctor Who, where the Doctor has been successful in getting the TARDIS to change its appearance. That's in the 1985 story, Attack of the Cybermen, where the Doctor's temporarily repaired the Chameleon circuit and got it to change its appearance to that of an organ. Apart from that, it's always been a police box, never anything else. And that's the way it stayed. And throughout the 60-year history of Doctor Who, it's nearly always been a police box, because there is something wrong with its chameleon circuit, and it's unable to make itself look any different from a police box. But it's still bigger on the inside than on the outside. There's a term for that, but I don't know what it is. It's something try googling bigger on the TARDIS and bigger on the inside than on the outside. You'll find what the term is for something that's bigger on the inside than on the outside. Before television was invented in 1928, they thought of various different names for it. I mean, the concept of television had been around since the 19th century. So somebody had actually had an idea that they might be able to do it, but it didn't. The idea never actually came to fruition until 1928, when John Logie Baird built one that actually worked. Probably not many people know this, but the cinemas. The reason why cinemas were invented was because somebody placed a bet on whether a horse's hooves were all off the ground, whenever all off the ground at the same time. Someone placed a bet on whether all four of a horse's hooves were ever off the ground at the same time. And to determine whether he was right or wrong, they took a series of photographs of the horse while it was running, to see whether all four of its hooves were ever off the ground at the same time. And they strung them together to make a. They sort of strung all the photographs. They had an idea that they could string all the photographs together to make it look as if it was moving, and that's where the idea of movies came from. That's funny how things come about, isn't it? That's where the inspiration for movies came from someone betting on whether a horse had all four of its hooves off the ground at the same time ever. And that's how the motion picture industry came into being from that. Anyway, I have done a discussion before saying that I think time travel is just a figment of a figment of someone's imagination. Really, it's hardly debatable whether it'd ever be achievable, and even more debatable that whether you'd ever be able to travel back in both directions, forwards and backwards. I mean, the thing is, how can you travel forwards into something that doesn't exist yet, and how can you both go travel backwards into something that no longer exists? You can only live live in the here and now, can't you? As you say, that's all you can do. And you are travelling through time. You're travelling forwards, but you can't. It's impossible to break the speed limit. You can't overtake anybody else because we're all travelling at the same speed, and it's impossible to. The speed limit has been set. It's impossible to break it. So it's all food for thought, isn't it? But this is what this is. That's what this. By discuss this is an this discussion is an explanation of what the Chameleon circuit is. Anyway, that's just in case anyone was wondering what I was talking about when I mentioned Chameleon circuit in the last review. Anyway, I'm pleased to say that I've got over 50,000 views on my channel now. Celebrate good times, come on, let's all have a party. Let's all come round to me flat and let's have a big party because I've had over 50,000 views on my YouTube channel. Anyway, I'll be back soon. Maybe one of these days might get over 100,000 views on it eventually. You never know, do you? We all need to set ourselves little goals, don't we? See if we can achieve them. Anyway, I'll be back soon with more material. Bye.